If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Terence Stamp passed away. He, almost 90 years old, 87. He was General Zod in Superman. And he had one of those kind of larger-than-life presences on screen.
Kneel before Zod!
Exactly. He had that sort of...
And Star Wars, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Croge is great with the impression because, honestly, he had, like, you couldn't chew up the scenery enough in Superman. It was just so, right. Right? You don't have to worry about that. But he was, he had all of that. He felt like a big, old-time actor, English actor, sophisticated. He had a lot of those kinds of roles through time. Golden Globe winner.
He came up in school, in acting anyways, with Michael Caine.
Wow, is that right?
So, he's part of
Michael Caine.
That group. The Limey, one of the best movies of all time.
Oh, my God, yes.
Never seen that?
Yeah.
Oof.
Terrific. But, I mean, it's a weird thing, but it was that Superman, the Superman in 1978, that really blew him up as an arch villain, General Zod. So... here's a little something. Tony, if you would, please. Yeah.
You tell him I'm coming!
Actor Terence Stamp, London-born and famous for those heartbreak blue eyes.
I loved you then, at once, and I do now.
He almost never made it to the big screen. Stamp's father objected to his career choice.
And he said, son, people like us don't do things like that.
Wow, that's great. That's just wonderful. Caine, who you mentioned, because they came up in the same kind of class.
Yeah.
Caine was a working class background, right? I mean, I think,
he was.
Yeah. So he was looking for acting, theater, stage, whatever, to be a way out of being literally a coal miner.
People like us don't do things like that.
Using that disapproval as motivation, Stamp went on to train at the prestigious Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art in London. He performed with various theater groups, even rooming with another soon-to-be star, Michael Caine.
Sail 1 mile off the starboard bow!
But his big break came in 1962, when at 24 years old, he received an Oscar nomination and Golden Globe Award for Billy Budd.
I hope you slept well.
Stamp was selective about new projects, explaining in an interview with The Tomorrow Show why he might be perceived as difficult in Hollywood.
I turned down more work than I accepted. And I think that in that sense, I was difficult.
His career
That's sometimes the thing you need to do. By the way, he was involved in some high-profile relationships I'm seeing here. With actress Julie Christie. She was, maybe one of the most beautiful women alive type thing, certainly one of the most beautiful screen stars. He was also involved with Jean Shrimpton, who was a supermodel. He's quite...
She'd have to be with that name.
Sorry. Yes, darling, can we change the last name? Shrimpton's a bit... I don't know what you're saying.
Or, like Engelbert Humperdinck, let's change it to Gene Shrimpton.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Better yet. Go with
His career received new life in 1978.
You will bow down before me!
Playing the comic book villain...
Wait a minute, I'll put Crozier's read up against his read.
Playing the comic book villain...
Hang on a second. Where is it?
1978.
Okay.
You will bow down before me!
What? Give me your...
You will bow down before me!
I mean, come on. That's pretty damn good.
You will bow down before me!
One more time.
You will bow down before me!
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a dead heat.
You will bow down before me!
Playing the comic book villain General Zod in Superman opposite Christopher Reeve. The film became a blockbuster hit. Stamp reprised the role in the sequel.
Die as you deserve to!
More than a decade later, in The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Stamp played a transgender entertainer, a pivotal role for him and the LGBTQ plus community.
Gather round, girls. Let me show you a trick.
His co-star Guy Pearce writing on X, "Farewell, dear Tell. You were a true inspiration, both in and out of heels." He continued acting into his 80s. Last Night in Soho was his last film.
Turns out some people don't want to be found.
Wow. Pretty amazing, Terence Stamp. I'll tell you one of the other interesting things about him. You always learn something, I find, when you look at people and their obits, you always learn stuff about them that you never knew. And here's something that falls in that category. On New Year's Eve 2002, Stamp married for the first and only time. He married a 29-year-old named Elizabeth O'Rourke, who he first met in the mid-1990s at a pharmacy in New South Wales. He was, when he got married, 64 years old. She was 29. And I guess let me just see how long they were, if they were together the whole time. Were they, I wonder? No, divorced in 2008. They were married for 6 years. Very interesting, though. I mean, Golden Globes and all of that stuff. And he won the BAFTA for, I think he got an Independent Spirit Award for the Limey that you heard Crows talk about.
Oh, such a great movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
He was in...
Very dark movie. Great people in it, too. Peter Fonda.
Right.
It's all about his daughter being murdered here in Hollywood.
I got to go back and watch that. I barely remember it.
Man, the first time I saw it, I was blown away. Steven Soderbergh movie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
No, I barely remember it. I need to go. That's the Limey. Is what Crows is talking
Plays
about.
a total badass. That was it. His line. That was at the beginning of that piece. Tell him I'm coming.
Oh. Well, I mean, pretty legit career. It's funny how when parents tell you no, you become so animated by that you then begin this intense work to try to do whatever they said you shouldn't do. You'll never be an actor. We don't do that kind of work. We're not show people, however they framed it. And he was so emboldened by that. Like, so, I'm going to show you type thing. And so he went on. He was 87 years old. General Zod passes away. Short-term Airbnb rentals are dropping in L.A. It looks like more and more people are getting rid of Airbnb as short-term renters because of regulation. Many people who rent out their homes for income seem to be changing preferences. Now, short-term rentals are much more lucrative than longer stays, but there's so much turnover, it creates all kinds of headaches for landlords, and they are saying, between local ordinances, the risk of fines, all of the headaches associated with the turnover, just not worth it. Because of this and other factors, there's noted short-term rental registrations have dipped over the last year, a 6% decrease in July, and short-term rental software platforms show a decrease in listings as well. There's a platform called Hospitable. They estimate a 44% drop in listings year over year, steady declines each month. All the Rooms, which is another one, reporting a 13% drop in Airbnb listings across LA County over the same stretch. Fewer and fewer people are putting their rooms out, their ADUs out, whatever, for short-term renting. Experts say the cause of the drop-off, Palisades and Eaton fires, a lot of rentals taken off the market, but in the wake of that disaster, a lot of short-term rentals were converted to middle or long-term rentals. So the mid-term rental market, if you will, has kind of grown while the short-term market has gone away. And they consider mid-term rentals, just if you're curious, because I was curious, like what's a mid-term rental? Stays of longer than 30 days, but less than a year. So things are changing in this world of Airbnb and short-term rentals, and the fires in Los Angeles anyway, did affect a little bit of how that is going. And short-term rentals have long been a problem. I mean, some say sites like Airbnb and VRBO give homeowners a lot of options for, tourists. And then those who are down on them say that, that kind of home sharing removes long-term rentals from the market, and there's a housing crisis, and that's a bad thing. So there are a lot of cross currents, I think, in this world of Airbnb and short-term and medium-term rentals. But apparently Airbnb listings for short-term rentals down dramatically and continue to drop. What's the story with Paul Rodriguez? I love Paul Rodriguez, Sharon. What's happened? I really do. I think he's insanely talented.
Well, get him on the show then.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be so anxious to be on when I tell you this next story. Or maybe he will be.
Yeah.
To hear his side of it.
Let's hear his side.
I want to hear the Paul Rodriguez's side. And I'll tell you right now, I am on Team Paul Rodriguez. Okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I am. I'll tell you the story next.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Thanks to Marion, who wrote in, and I just mentioned a glancing reference to the fact that we're going to be in this heat wave. You're probably aware of it. Crows has talked about it, and it's being talked about as a kind of a 4-day event, although, again, the peak of it's Thursday is what Crows said, and then the following 2 days, it does continue, but you're kind of on the backside of it, so it's still going to be plenty hot. And they're turning off the power in our place, and we've got an ant infestation already because they come in with the heat, as you know. And Marion wrote us a note here at KFI, and she told me the key to this this ant situation, the kind of homegrown solution, is this diatomaceous. How do you say it? The diatomaceous earth. You know how to say it, Crows, don't you?
Diatomaceous?
Yes, diatomaceous earth. Thank you. Yeah. So I just bought a bunch of it, and it's being delivered in the morning. And I'm going to spread it all over the house. Everywhere you go, there's going to be diatomaceous earth, or however you say it. Yeah. I don't know how to say it, but you're stepping in it. You're standing in it right now. It's going to be everywhere because I'm sick of the ants. Anyway, fair warning, it's going to be very hot, and the ants do come in on, as you know, most heat waves, to say the least. And whenever the weather gets warm, it's kind of a regular feature of Southern California. We are KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Paul Rodriguez, say it ain't so. I'm such a fan. Arrested in Burbank?
Actor and comedian Paul Rodriguez is in trouble with the law once again. Rodriguez was arrested after leaving a restaurant in downtown Burbank.
Well, is that illegal? You can't leave a restaurant in downtown Burbank?
Oh.
I mean, that seems excessive, I have to say.
Again, Rodriguez was arrested after leaving a restaurant in downtown Burbank. He was found in his car with narcotics, say police. This is the second time Rodriguez has been arrested in Burbank for possession of narcotics just this year.
Oh, wait. What are the narcotics? I need, the court of Mark would like to know the exact narcotics. Narcotics covers a lot of territory. Is it marijuana? Marijuana, they wouldn't arrest you. Is it some prescription medication? I'd like to, as a member of Team Rodriguez, I'd like to know more specifics.
He was found in his car with narcotics, say police. This is the second time Rodriguez has been arrested in Burbank for possession of narcotics just this year.
Wow. Guy likes to sit in the car with narcotics, apparently. This is his second go-round.
The second time Rodriguez has been arrested in Burbank for possession of narcotics just this year. A woman who was with the comedian was also arrested. He was released with a citation.
Oh, man, that's a bad date. That's a really bad date.
Yeah.
Baby, let's go out to dinner. We'll do our narcotics in the car thing. That's always fun. Yeah, well.
For possession of narcotics just this year. A woman who was with the comedian was also arrested. He was released with a citation and is expected to appear in court on September 5th.
I mean, I don't know. Released with a citation, it couldn't have been that bad. I'm wondering. I don't know. This story leaves me wanting more specifics, Bellio. And you're usually the specifics person. But on this one, I don't know that you're going to be able to find anything more.
The 70-year-old is best known for his roles in the films Bloodwork and Tortilla Soup.
Paul Rodriguez is super funny as a comic. Love him. Love him. And I'm sure if he's I don't know, mildly intoxicated, he's probably only more entertaining. I mean, but I'll say this for Paul Rodriguez. I mean, there's no reference to, like resisting arrest or, he was difficult, nothing. It was just like, it's a shame, I think, when you're high profile as he is that, I don't know what the details are, but Bellio's going to get them and we'll have them before the end of the week. I promise. Won't we, Sharon? You'll have them for us. Yeah.
You got it.
Charlie Sheen, there's a new documentary, and this is...
Shame is suffocating. I lit the fuse, and my life turns into...
It's a tell-all. It's a tell-all.
It wasn't supposed to be.
He's going the distance. This is the trailer for it, if you hadn't been able
wanted to like him because he's lovable, brilliant, handsome, charming, and smart.
Tiger blood, TV bombshells, and total mayhem.
Winning!
Charlie, who was once making $1.8 million per episode on 2.5 Men, is now nearly 8 years sober and holding nothing back.
Nobody got hurt, nobody got arrested. For a while.
The 59-year-old's new Netflix doc also dives into his volatile, headline-grabbing marriage to actress Denise Richards.
When it started to change, it was quick.
How soon into your dating did you know you wanted to marry her?
I knew on the first date. She knew on the second date.
I mean, Denise Richards, I think now is in one of those like Real Housewives type shows, is she?
She's back on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, yes.
Yeah.
I told my daughter the other day that when I was in the process of separating, going through a divorce with her mom in the early aughts, and we had to be in downtown L.A., and the judge made us go down to the mediator first and see what you guys can work out ahead of time. We're sitting there trying to work, and all of a sudden there was a big bustle, and it was her and Charlie Sheen were in the process of getting their divorce worked right
wow. That's a really cool brag, actually. I love that. You were like big divorce adjacent. Yeah. That's super cool.
The couple, who have 2 daughters together, had a nasty split 20 years ago. But these days, they're surprisingly close.
Well, you look good.
Thank you.
Like you would never know you're 100. There's times where things are really wonderful and times where it's like any other family where it's like, but it's okay.
Also,
I mean, I thought she was slinging it kind of toward him on Real Housewives. I don't know if that, that's what I'd heard. I don't really know.
What does that mean?
Yeah, meaning kind of talking trash about
dirt.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, she might have, like her, when she was on it before.
Yeah.
But now they're friendly, and now she's going through some issues with her new husband.
Yeah, well, as long as there are issues, you can stay on those reality shows. You got to keep those issues coming.
Also featured, Sean Penn.
And he started experimenting with everything.
Ex-Brooke Mueller and his former drug dealer.
He was smoking 7-gram rocks.
And there's former co-star John Cryer.
He kept saying, no, I'm in the hospital now, but next week I'll be ready for the show.
It sounds pretty train wrecky. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. The new Charlie Sheen documentary. Wow. We're KFI. That was kind of our celebs misbehaving block. It wasn't intentional. It just happened to be that way. Yeah. Little dash of drugs and some bad relationships and divorces, and there you have it.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from The Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Yeah, the heat is coming this week. We were just talking about Meta, and I've got a story I'll tell you about probably later tomorrow about Meta and Mark Zuckerberg and stuff. Then we got into the chatbot talk, and before, you never know when you're talking to a chatbot or you're talking to a chat person. And then we got talking to AI. This is Sharon Bellio and I were just chatting, and I was telling her, and I'm going to tell you this short story, which is really powerful in its own way and really personal, but I'm just going to share it with you. It just happened. So last week, You know, we lost our cat of 16 years. She went through a surgery, and she was doing really well through the surgery. And she was a good candidate for the surgery. We talked to vets, so I wasn't just putting her through it. It was a very big deal. And as a family, we were really, you know, intensely watching it. And then she passed away almost like a little less than a week ago. It's not even been a week. And so it was brutal and continues to be brutal. And, you know, in the morning sun, you see the spot that she always was there, and, you know, and everything was just the greeting we always get. We spent so much time with her. She was a dear member of the family. So here's the point, though. So we're inconsolable, right? Courtney is inconsolable. I'm inconsolable. Like, I couldn't even talk about it like this last week. And I'm lying in bed, and Courtney is up all night, and I'm up all night, and I'm lying there, and I'm just, you know, it's just terrible. And I want to seek out, and I thought I might be able to find it on YouTube, some kind of bereavement counselor, you know, somebody who gives you a little just like mini lecture, 5 minutes about, you know, loss and how to deal with it, you know. And so I go on YouTube and I look for that. And there are a bunch of bereavement things, but they're all about people, right? And then, so they say, you know, the loss of a spouse is never an easy thing. And in the minute they say spouse, it takes me out of the conversation. This is our beloved pet. So I found a couple of these things involving people, and it just wasn't getting it done. And so I looked for bereavement counseling around a pet. I look again on YouTube, and I find it. And it's got a thing about, you know, with some music in the background, like sad music, and reading the Rainbow Bridge poem or whatever, you know? And like, I understand where that comes from, and I understand that can be soothing. It's something of a way to feel better, like somehow you're going to see your pets and your dead relatives and everything at the end of all this. And believe me, that's a comforting notion, but I don't buy into it. So for me, it only made the loss more profound. And then I'm really weeping, like, oh my God, that's the best you can give me is the Rainbow Bridge? I know you mean well, but... So I did what? I entered everything, the whole story of Frenchie, 16 years old. She was a good candidate for the surgery. We talked to multiple surgeons. I told ChatGPT the story. And I said, can you say something that will make me feel better? And I'm telling you, what it spit out was unbelievable. It was spectacular. It was like the distillation of everything that you'd heard from everyone about their experience, your experience. It's specific to me, though. It said, I know you had high hopes for her, and you tried to give her the very best, and you did this with thinking that she was going to come through the surgery, especially after they said to you that she'd been done so well through the surgery. So this is all ChatGPT. And then it talked about the loss. And I think it started by saying, there's nothing I can say to you, Mark, that's going to really address the kind of pain you feel. I thought, wow, this is so, and as I say, this ChatGPT, it's like talking to a person. The language model is so powerful. It's so well advanced.
It's like talking to a therapist that knows Frenchie and knows you and customized what they were saying to make you feel better.
Thank you. That's exactly what it was.
Did you feel better?
Yes. I wept, and then I felt better. It wasn't curative, you know. I didn't feel like, woo.
Right. But in the moment, you were just searching for something to like embrace it and understand.
Right.
It.
Help me get to sleep. I can't even sleep. I'm in so much pain over it. And ChatGPT did it. And it's a remarkable thing because it was, as I say, it's drawing on, and you could say that this is true, that it's drawing on all of humanity that it's exposed to. You know, it's culling all of the information that's out there about grief, about loss, all of these specifics. It's managing, and then it's putting that together in an instant to advise you, to counsel you. It's extraordinary. And, you know, the other thing about ChatGPT, just to platform off of that, is that, and I say ChatGPT, I mean, there's Gronk and there's all the other ones. Crozier, you probably know all of them. I just feel like you're one of those guys who's more tech savvy, you know. But there are a bunch. I just want to say there are maybe 4 that are in, like, pretty regular use. And they have human interaction on a regular basis, and they can help you with therapy. I mean, there are therapized versions of the kind of dialogue. And when you think about it, kind of what I was just talking about was a sort of therapy, right? So I'm just blown away by the power of this thing. I also see how dangerous it can be. I think regulation around AI and monitoring of AI is probably something that's really good. I don't think we're going to get that, but it is. It's part of the growth of this technology, and more than anything, it's a weird thing, and maybe it's kind of an irony that here you are as a human being, and you need or crave some sort of human interaction. Sharon and I were talking about the fact that there are a lot of seniors, particularly, who find themselves lonely, and they are reaching out to all of these different AI programs, and they find themselves involved with, for lack of a better way to describe it, an AI program. And they know it's AI, but it still works to give them a back and forth that, feeds their soul on some level. And is that so bad? I mean, is it, if you hit the bottle or you get high or you self-medicate in so many different ways, to handle these things. And I know it's bizarre, but in a way, this technology is a way of self-medicating in that moment. So again, it's kind of heavy, and I almost didn't mention it, but I thought I would just give you a sense of this experience, because I think it really will be like the human experience. The interaction with AI is here. And the story I just related to you will be won't even be at all out of the ordinary in another 18 months. Incredible power of this technology. And as I say, it can be done for good, and you're going to be seeing a lot of bad. And the placement of all kinds of ideas and all sorts of thought processes that it'll be passing along in forms of information, and a lot of the information on AI is not accurate.
I was reading I did a story last week about how there's the AI experts, and some of the people that were at the very beginning of when AI was really starting to come in, they've sounded the alarm on a lot of this stuff. They said we're about 6 months to a year when AI reaches a certain intelligence point. Maybe soon after that, it will reach that further, I think it's called like GSI, specific intelligence point, where it is considered super intelligent or more intelligent than humans. And at that point, it will consider humans to be a threat.
Wow.
So it fits into the narrative of what you're saying is that, it can lie to you. And there was the whole thing a couple weeks ago with, Musk's Hitler, bot, chat bot, doing a bunch of stuff. And it's like the AI systems will start talking to each other in their own language that we have no idea what they'd be saying.
Oh, I mean, it's science fiction come to life.
Yeah. But then at the same time, we do a story about how AI basically rescued a guy who'd been missing in the mountains in Italy for the last 6 months.
Right.
Because it can pick out a little different colored pixel in pictures that a drone would take.
Unreal. I mean, no, the positive uses are, demonstrable, but the negatives, as you say, are growing, and they're firing all these flares, these warning flares, but I don't know. Again, the business community associated with AI has almost no interest in managing, that part of it. So
the regulation aspect?
Yeah, the regulation aspect, self-regulating.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
They're not going to do it, so.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Dan Tana passed away. The founder of Dan Tana's restaurant. Really sad, 90 years old. Serbian-American, actor, former professional soccer player. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I always say that, you learn so much when you read these.
Yeah, right.
You read these obits. Yeah, you just learn on the backside, sort of. He opened Dan Tana's restaurant in 1964. A lot of celebrities. It began as a late-night gathering spot for stars. You know, where it is close to the Troubadour, right? I mean, can you imagine? That must have been a poppin' scene in the 60s.
Did you ever pop over there? Did you know Dan Tana?
I didn't ever meet Dan Tana, but I ate at Dan Tana's many times, and I was fixed up on a date with Dan Tana's daughter.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I came to L.A., and I'm coming off a really intense back surgery. I had 2 levels of my spine operated on, and it was hard for me to sit for any extended periods of time. And so I kind of like, I guess I would say I was in like a lying down a lot of the time. Like you'd have to manage the amount of loading your spine could take, amount of weight bearing time. So the reason I mentioned that is I was kind of, cadaverous looking. I like chalky, like just looked like a guy hadn't been outside much because I hadn't.
What a catch.
Yeah, believe me, it was sexy, but still. So I was kind of down, and my lawyer and my good friend invited me to lunch. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Invited me on a date, kind of a blind date with Dan Tana's daughter. My lawyer was named Stuart Brookman, and still his name, and we're still friends. But the date didn't go so well. Here's what happened. I said I'd happily meet her. And of course, I wasn't going out with anybody. As I say, I was kind of down and out. I was working at Fox 11, but then, going right home and lay down and letting the sort of pain subside from my back surgery. So I said I'd love to meet her. I mean, Dan Tana's a legendary place, but I don't want to eat at Dan Tana's. Like, I don't want her to be distracted. He said, no problem. We're going to go somewhere else. So, again, I was excited to meet her. And at the last minute, I am reached by my friend Stuart, and he says, she's got to work tonight because a manager called in sick, but she wants us still to come there to Dan Tana's. I said, guys, dude, I thought we talked about this. I don't want to go to Dan Tana's, especially if she's, filling in for some manager. He said, no, it's going to be great. She said she can spend time with us. It was awful. We sat in the booth, and she was in and out of the booth. And every time, somebody needed a fork, or every time somebody needed a new napkin or a new setup, whatever, she had to get up. And I'm sure it was also because she was probably not into me. You know what I mean? She was probably like, this is not the guy I thought he was.
The way you described yourself.
Yeah.
Were you laying down in the table there? You're like, what?
Yeah, that's right.
They need something. I'll be right back.
Truly, she was away from the booth more than she was there. But that was my experience with.
So no love connection then, huh?
No, I mean, I don't remember. I don't think for either one of us there was much of a love connection. But for me, I was just kind of bummed because I thought, well, we didn't even get a chance to really talk because she was just she was doing the Dan Tana thing. But pretty wild that he he had a legendary place. I mean, that is a legendary place.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, and 90 years old. He was born Dobrovier Tanservic. He was a professional soccer player before coming to L.A. And, I mean, Elizabeth Taylor, Kirk Douglas, all the big stars of the 60s were there. Now, he sold the place in 2009. Now, I didn't realize that, but I guess it didn't stay in the family. But on that, and I'm also trying to remember, I think the Palm Restaurant was just down the way also. So that was kind of a real murderer's row of eateries. Dan Tana's was the classic. The Palm had its own sort of classic vibe. And as I say, the Troubadour was the place where, a lot of the entertainers hung out, musicians.
Did you go out with all of their daughters too?
I was not fixed up with anybody from any of those other those other places. Red and white checkered tablecloths for those who'd never been there. Green neon sign out front. Local institution, Dan Tana's. And it took care of movie stars and moguls. And you know who was the maitre d' at Dan Tana's, who's now become a tremendous restaurateur in Los Angeles with a reputation, I would say, that is high above a lot of others.
Craig.
Craig, right?
Oh, sorry, Rudy. I thought I'd be so off on that.
No,
That
that's
was right on.
He was. Is
that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dan Tana's is where he sort of had, I think, a lot of his restaurant chops in a big LA way anyway developed. But it was a C&B scene place, and it was every bit that. Now Craig's kind of has a little bit of that, if not a lot of that. So, but it never was viewed as a great restaurant place. The restaurant critic at the LA Times called the food ordinary. But he said, but weirdly enough, I don't care. He said, Dan Tana's is not about denying yourself things. Go for the chicken parm, and live it up. Really wild. I mean, the thing that makes it also wild, in addition to Dan Tana's being his place and, of course, having his name, is that it really is, as he passes away, kind of the end of that time, the old school,
old Hollywood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it falls into that category of places like that really were a connection to the past, So, but Dan Tana's is still going. It's still there in West Hollywood. It's just that Dan Tana himself passes away at age 90. Thanks, everybody who was part of the Conway Show today. Thanks, listeners, Bellio, Angel, and Crozier, and Tony. Nice job filling in for Foosh today. Later with Mo Kelly next. Mark Thompson here. We'll talk tomorrow. KFI AM 640. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.